Clock's on the stove.
Yes,
Clock's on the stove. Clock's on the stove.
Hey, man, I don't know what. He said clock on the stove, but they better take their ass home.
Welcome back, Clocks on the Stove. Happy holidays. It's December. With us today, we got our usual college game day guys, Mr. Caleb Jeffrey Carnes, Stuart Ford, the usual myself, Zach Watts. Today, we're going to dive in onto some bowl games. This is the best but saddest time of the year for college football fans. We are not going to be diving into the college football playoffs, as we will have an entire podcast dedicated to that. On top of that, before we dive in, I would like to say our prayers and condolences are with Coach Leach. I don't know if everyone's heard about this, but Mike Leach is in critical condition right now in a hospital in Mississippi. They have not released too much information, but it is not looking too hot right now for one of the goats of college football coaching, in my opinion, at least personality-wise. Coach Mike Leach, we hope nothing but the best for him, and hopefully he can bounce back and get back on his feet and lead the Bulldogs another season. But let's get on a happier note. Let's start off with our New Year's Six Bowls. Obviously, they're only doing 4 of them, as 2 of them are the playoff games. But nonetheless, still awesome, still a great time. Starting us off, we have the Capital One Orange Bowl. Number 6, Tennessee coming in at 10-2, playing number 7, Clemson, coming in at 11-2. Clemson's coming in at a -6.5 favorite, over under set at 64. This game is Friday, December 30th, 8 p.m. on ESPN and the Hard Rock Stadium at Miami. Gentlemen, what are we thinking about this interesting Orange Bowl matchup? Mind you, also, both teams wear orange.
Nice.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess this is kind of a weird scenario for both teams. You know, for Clemson's side of things, DJ entered his name into the transfer portal. It's obvious his time's up there at Clemson. The backup, though, has showed signs that he's pretty solid, but it's kind of hard taking over a team as you're entering your bowl game. But I think this is like the best way to do it, honestly, because rather than just getting warmed up for next year, you're just kind of handling your business now. And I think Tennessee's a great matchup. Hopefully both of these offenses can show out and kind of showcase why they were ranked this high to begin with. Tennessee, obviously, Hendon Hooker's out with his ACL injury. We're not going to get to see him. I don't know if anyone said whether they're sitting out or not. Hyatt, high draft prospect. So
I believe Hyatt is playing. I've not heard anything.
Okay, yeah, because we get to that time of year where guys, if the bowl games aren't big enough or they're not playing for a playoff spot, they usually just sit out now. But yeah, I don't know if Clemson's going to cover 6.5. Personally, they could. It's just one of those hit or miss situations. I see how they come out of the gates. If you're going to bet on this game, I would just wait and live bet it. Get a feel for both these teams. But yeah, outside of that, over under, not touching it at all.
What's your pick though of the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna take score.
Just your pick in general.
Oh, I'm taking Tennessee. Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee plus 6.5.
So Hendon Hooker isn't or is playing?
I do not know if Hendon Hooker is playing. I believe he's not.
He's done. I thought he was done for the year. Yeah.
Yeah, is he done for the year?
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Who's their backup? Some fucking yeah.
Oh no,
yeah, he just had ACL surgery. He's not playing.
I don't even think it matters. That guy that really recruit that got paid like 11 mil, he's suiting up. He came early.
Oh,
is that allowed?
Yeah. He's gonna be playing.
So he was in high school 2 weeks ago.
I know. He's an early because he's coming earlier.
The Nico kid.
Yes, the volleyball player.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm look it up, dude. I swear.
He's gonna play his first game in the fucking Orange Bowl against.
I don't know if he's gonna play. He's suiting up, so they're definitely gonna try him out. I think I'll let you finish, but I think he's gonna get in.
That's interesting.
They said the starting quarterback's gonna be Joe Milton III. I don't think that Nico kid's allowed to touch the field until the spring.
Dude, please check it out. I may be wrong.
Joe Milton, bro.
Yeah.
Oh hell no. See, I want to take 6. I want to take Clemson. I want to take Tennessee in the points. I like, SEC ball, but I'm still just gonna ride. I'm gonna take the points and be smart here. I think Tennessee. I think they have better athletes than Clemson right now, and I think that they played good all year, and hopefully they just can cap off their best season in forever with a nice little bowl dub. So I'll take the points too.
Who are you taking? Tennessee with the points.
Yeah, Tennessee with the points.
Yeah, I'm going the opposite way here from both of you guys. I'm going to take the better coach. I'm going to take the better quarterback. Klubnik's way better than Joe Milton. I mean, I liked Clemson before I heard Joe Milton was playing. I really think Klubnik's going to be a good quarterback for Clemson. I kind of see them rolling. I'm not going to lie. Like Tennessee's, this has been their magical year, whatever. They don't have that great of a defense, and I just don't see this happening. Like Dabo's been there, Tennessee hasn't. Still a bigger bowl game. I think Dabo gets them up, gets ready for next year. Clemson minus 6.5 is my pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna also rock with Stu here. I'm taking Clemson minus 6.5. I think if this would have been with the full healthy rosters and we had Hendon Hooker, I think Tennessee would have mopped Clemson personally. But that's not the case that we're presented with. And I also think that it's going to come down to one, Milton sucks, and Clemson's defense has never been the issue. That hasn't been the issue all season. So I don't see that being an issue in this game. As far to my knowledge, I don't know of any Clemson guys that are not playing in this game. As well as like Stu said, Dabo's been here. Dabo's been here. He knows what he's doing. This isn't his first rodeo. On top of that, let's not forget offensive coordinator of the year was Tennessee's offensive coordinator, who's no longer with the team as he's with USF. He will not be there helping the team as well. Granted, yes, the fat of the offense is still going to be there, but the man leading the ship's not going to be there. On top of that, Stu, Nico is going to be practicing with the team for bowl games, but is not eligible to play in the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. But regardless, if Nico played or if Nico didn't play, first of all, I think it'd be extremely stupid to play that kid right now.
Yeah.
But second of all, I just think that I just don't see what Tennessee can bring to the table that Clemson's not going to be prepared for, especially like you said, Stu, with Dabo's history of performing well in big bowl games also. I think Cade Klubnik is a dog, and I think this is going to be the game where he kind of has his like Trevor Lawrence takes out Kelly Bryant game, if that makes sense.
I thought last game was personally
this is first start though. This is
DJ's interview
start.
post game. That interview was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like DJ gets a little too much hate personally.
He does, because you know how, like, bro, if you have he literally was like expected to come in, win the Heisman, fucking be like he literally had like unreal expectations. It's like almost impossible to meet unless you're literally like playing perfect football, and he wasn't. And he's sloppy, and he's still young, but like he could be good in the NFL because he has the tools. But like it's really like they just write off a lot of these kids if you don't freaking like come in and snap right away, which is like honestly rarely the case. Like you have to be like on like Bryce Young or some shit to just like come up and live up to the expectations right away.
Yeah, it also sucks that you're following Trevor Lawrence, who's arguably one of the best college quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I think what we're going to see with DJ is what we saw with Jalen. I think he's going to go somewhere else. He's going to ball the fuck out. They're going to fix his minor tweaks, and then he's going to go in the draft, and the story is going to be, look how much more he's matured. He's not the same quarterback he was at Clemson. Like DJU is different. That's at least the vibe I'm getting off of this whole situation.
100%. And that school's going to be Auburn.
That boy does not want to go to the SEC. Get out of here with that. Our next game coming in, though, is the All-State Sugar Bowl between number 5 Alabama coming in at 10-2 and number 9 Kansas State coming in at 10-3. Alabama -3 points favorite. Over/under set at 54. This game is Saturday, December 31st at noon on ESPN in the New Orleans Caesars Superdome. Kansas State coming in as our Big 12 champions. Gentlemen, how do we feel about this game?
Alabama money line.
Yeah.
Nothing
honestly,
else.
I'd take Alabama with the points. I feel like they're obviously the better team in this, and this is no disrespect to Kansas State. They've had a great year and a great showing even in that the Big 12 championship. They played solid, played TCU well. I just think, look, my biggest discreditor for the Pac-12 and the Big 12 is they don't play defense. And against an SEC powerhouse like this, who unfortunately had 2 super close games, less by combined 6 points,
4 points on the last play of the game.
Both last play of the game on the road. Like shit happens. Like welcome to college football. Just unlucky. But I think this is kind of Alabama's prove it game where they show like, hey, we should have been in, but we understand why we didn't. I mean, I love everything Kansas State's got going on. I just don't think, if they were to have Martinez, maybe give him a shot. But I just don't trust their backup. Howard, I think his name. I don't trust him that much.
Yeah.
Bond,
He's a mouse.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, Vaughn's a dog though. But yeah, give me Alabama -3.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Caleb, you go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the same thing. I think Alabama's gonna roll -3. I don't know. I just don't think that you're gonna like the last game should have use my head a little bit. Take the better coach. They've been here. They're gonna freaking roll them. I think they're just too talented, bro. Because they could easily be in the playoff and still like if they're in the playoff, everyone will be like, oh shit, they could win it. You know what I mean? Like I think that they're just the better team. I think they'll roll here and hopefully prove like, yeah, we should have been in there, like Zach said, but like, yeah, we just 2 losses, can't get in.
So I'm gonna take
Oh,
Bama -3 as well. I think we're all in agreement with this. 2 things I want to point out though. Or 3 things, excuse me. The first thing I want to point out is it me or Deuce Vaughn has not gotten the love this season that he deserves. That man has carried Kansas State. Adrian Martinez was balling out all year. He goes down with an injury, isn't there anymore. And Deuce Vaughn stepped the fuck up and really took the workload. And I feel like he's not getting enough love, at least in my opinion. I'm not saying Heisman or anything, but I just feel like what he's done with what they were lacking, it doesn't get talked about enough, especially with Kansas State. This isn't a team that's like historically in the Big 12 championship. You know, like they've had their seasons, but for him to do what he did this year, especially coming in kind of unknown, I think he needs more credit. The next thing I want to go and say is what Caleb stated. I think if Alabama was in the playoffs, I would favor them to win it all. That's my personal opinion. I think Nick Saban is the god of adjustments, and I think they also would have came in with a fire under their ass to prove a point. My third thing, and I might get some controversy for this, it depends which Alabama shows up, okay? If we remember, I want to say it was 2013 when Florida State won the national championship. Alabama got mopped by Oklahoma, and not a good Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl, because Alabama has these trends where they either come out with fuck you, we deserve to be in the playoff, or we're all going to the NFL, we're not in the playoffs, we don't give a fuck about this game. So I think I'm picking Bama -3. I think they're going to go in there and destroy Kansas State, especially since Kansas State's so one-dimensional in their offense with the run game. I think they're going to shut that shit down instantly. But I would not be that surprised if, like, right before the game, a couple Bama guys announced they're not playing in the bowl, and then we see a different kind of Bama playing. I think it's going to really come down to Bryce Young. I think he's a great leader. I think he's another guy that doesn't get enough credit this season. And I think he's going to really be like, guys, let's do this. Like this game is going to set up on, is Alabama back next year or not? That's just my personal opinion. But I would not be that surprised if they came out playing like shit.
I just don't think there's any way. Like, I think we all can agree. Like, Bryce Young's 100% going to play in the game. Like, that's just who he is. I think he's going to get them to rally. But with that 2013 point, like, I'd almost bring it back to a more recent team that did make the playoffs. Like when they played Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, they crushed. Like, they're just going to go and get the job done, dude. Like, it's rare that a Saban team doesn't get up for a game, even if they lose a game. Like they lost 2 games this year. They're both close. They always get up for like an Auburn game just because those are close sometimes. It's Alabama, bro. They're gonna win by 3. I took money line, but they're gonna win by 3.
I agree. So we're all in agreement with Bama winning. Next game. This game is super weird but interesting to me at the same time. Goodyear Cotton Bowl between number 10 USC coming in at 11-2 and number 16 Tulane coming in at 11-2. Over under is set at 62. USC coming in at a 1.5 favorite. This game is Monday, January 2nd, 1 p.m. on ESPN in Arlington, Texas at the AT&T Stadium. Tulane coming in as the American Athletic Conference champions, first time in school history, with USC coming in as the Pac-12 runner-ups. Very weird game to me, but also kind of cool. What are we thinking about this game, guys?
I honestly am confused about the line. I haven't really seen Tulane play much this year, even at all. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Honestly, like, I just think the line is so fishy. Like, it's one of those ones where like Vegas knows something, or I don't even know, but the line is just crazy fishy.
Well, I think so. How many days in advance are we shooting this? Like 19?
This is the 2nd, so probably like 2 weeks, right? 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, so like that's 21 days in advance. This line's going to move a lot. The fact that it opened at 1.5, I think, has to go a lot with the uncertainty of who's going to play for USC more than anything.
Yeah.
The fact that they had the recent loss against Utah, that was pretty egregious. I think it's about public perception, but this line's definitely going to shift to probably, I think it's going to shift at least like 3-4 points by the
Yeah, I
time.
can see it. I can see
in
like
3
-6
weeks.
in game down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I still think at that point, if I were to wake up on the second or whatever it is, and I saw USC -6, I'd still take the -6. I don't care if it's public or not. They're gonna roll Tulane, bro. I'm not a Tulane guy. Like, who is? It's fucking Tulane, bro. We have the Heisman winner. Like, I'm going USC. There's just no way. And I understand the fishy line comments if this is like the week of, but we're 3 weeks out here. That's why a lot of these lines, like, I know Bama won't be -3 by the time the
Oh
game's
no, yeah,
like,
that's gonna go up
all
so much.
once the money comes in, it's gonna move everything around. But so we're taking these lines that are gonna change. I'm
Facts.
taking USC minus
So
1.5.
I'm gonna say some weird shit right here, but I'm gonna go with Tulane plus 1.5, and only because it seems too perfect for USC to go in there and kill them. I'm getting weird vibes about this game. Caleb Williams just won the Heisman, which is definitely going to boost him. But this USC team to me is kind of just like it's going to sound stupid how I say this, but just let me go. It's kind of like a clout team to me, where they're like having the cameras on them every week. They're celebrities at their games. They're trying to bring back this like USC hype. And then instead of getting in the playoffs or playing a really big bowl game, they're playing probably the worst New Year's Six team. And Tulane is the exact opposite. They just played in their first ever conference championship. They won their first ever conference championship, and they're playing their first ever New Year's Six bowl. Do I think Tulane matches up with USC? Absolutely fucking not. Okay. I don't think Tulane's that good. I think what they do that makes them so good, since Caleb hasn't watched them that well, they play their style. They lead the dance. You don't watch Tulane games and they're down by 30 and then they start coming back. No, they lead the dance. Mind you, when it comes to matching up against Power 5 teams as well, they whooped up on Kansas State in week 3 of the season. Okay. Don't forget that. So they have guys in the trenches that can play football as well. I think what it's going to be is it's going to be a Cinderella game. This USC team is pissed. They should have been in the playoffs. You know, they beat Utah. They're in the playoffs. They're NFL first-round caliber players. These Tulane guys aren't. This is their Super Bowl. This is their college football playoff. I think this is going to be one of those weird games where it has nothing to do with anything football-wise, and it only has to do with passion, heart, and wanting to be there. And I think Tulane gets a weird win. There's going to be a weird win in one of these games. So I'm going to cash it in right now, and I'm going to take Tulane plus 1.5.
Yeah, I'm kind of riding that wave, but I was going to go Tulane money line, honestly. This is kind of a tale of two stories for both these teams. On Tulane side of things, this is one of your most successful football seasons in your program's history. You're riding a high. You want to prove something. You want to end your season with a statement, and a win over a should-be college playoff team is a huge statement. Whereas you look at USC, this is a team that's kind of lost everything they're playing. Bowl game isn't as meaningful. There is that uncertainty with Caleb Williams. You don't know how if he's going to play or not with that injury. I also think their defense I also want to point out their defense got exposed in that Utah game. And guess what? Tulane plays some hard-nosed football. And if you let that offense get going, if you want to get into a shootout game again, by all means, go and try for it. But I don't know, man. Like you said, Grayson, this is one of those things where I could just see Tulane pulling it off, kind of ending their season on a high note. As well for USC, the goal was for Lincoln Riley to come in and immediately make an impact, take them to the playoffs. Like, once you kind of get eliminated, especially on the last game of the year, getting beat by the same team twice, that's a huge hit to your morale. Like, that, it's not going to help you in any way. And yeah, you can use a statement saying, "Oh, well, they're going to come back playing pissed." Like, I don't really see that type of football anymore. I usually see "Oh, we're going to go play pissed off in a fucking Cotton Bowl." Like, no, like I just don't. Give me Tulane money line.
Yeah, one thing before Caleb goes, I'm sorry. I want to back up what Zach said, that they played hard-nosed football. This Tulane team isn't a Pac-12 team that just slings the rock. Their running back Spears is 212 carries for 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns. USC can't tackle for jack shit. I don't know if any of you guys watched that Utah game. There might have been 100 missed tackles. Like, they literally can't tackle. So I think what Tulane does to win this game, if they go and try to play USC's game and start slinging the rock, they're going to get bodied. They're going to get destroyed. What they need to do is what I tried to say earlier. They lead the dance in a lot of their games. That's why they beat Cincinnati. They need to make it ugly, physical, and use every aspect of football. Run the ball, pass the ball, win the special teams. And if they do this, this UFC defense will break. They broke very bad in the Utah game. Granted, this Tulane team's not Utah, but you don't think they're taking notes and watching what that Utah team did?
I just think that like we've talked about, like most of the most of the bowl games is like really like, is the coach going to get these players up and like get them ready to go? And like, I don't know if Lincoln Riley, if he can do that, but I still think that if he does it and like they're ready to go, no matter if Caleb Williams sits out, but like they should be, if they can play their game and be like USC, like the playoff team, then like they should be fine and like not even roll Tulane, but like beat them. You know what I mean? So I'll take USC -1.5 just because I think that they'll be too talented and like just be able to get the like cap their season as well and like get the dub in the bowl and then come on for next year and hopefully do what they think they should do, even though they're not gonna.
Well, the good thing for them is they get Caleb Williams for another year guaranteed, so that's nice.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure Jordan Addison's gonna get the fuck out of there though.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, our final New Year's Six Bowl. This is probably the worst New Year's Six Bowl in my opinion out of all of them. I think this is a terrible fucking game. But anyways, we have number 11 Penn State in the Rose Bowl. Excuse me, number 11 Penn State coming in at 10-2 versus number 8 Utah coming in at 10-3. Utah's a -3 favorite. Our over/under set at 52. This game is Monday, January 2nd, 5 p.m. on ESPN in Pasadena, California, in the Rose Bowl Stadium. Probably the most historic stadium in college football and of all sports, arguably. Utah coming in as Pac-12 champions. I'm going to lead us off with this one, and I'm going to state that Penn State is the least deserving New Year's Six Bowl team out of all these teams, in my opinion. They absolutely and it's going to hurt me to say this, but I'm going to say it as a journalist and not as a fan. They had the most Wisconsin-ass season ever. They beat all the games they were supposed to win and then got murdered in their 2 ranked wins. When I saw that they accepted the Rose Bowl, I was literally like, how the fuck did this team deserve to be in a Rose Bowl? And I keep saying this, and I said it pod in, pod out, and I'm going to keep saying it. James Franklin and Lane Kiffin have a curse of where they can only win the games they're supposed to win, and they cannot win the dogfights. And then you're going to go, well, Grayson, what about the year they won the Big Ten? Yeah, they had Saquon and Trace McSorley. It's pretty fucking hard to lose with those guys, okay? But he can't do it. And they're ranked 11th, and they're 10-2 only because the 10 teams they played were absolute fucking shit. All right, and mind you, they almost lost that Purdue season opener. I think Utah is going to go in there and mop them, especially because they're coming off hot from this Big Ten, this Pac-12 championship game. And I think Cam Rising is an unbelievable leader and does not get talked about in that aspect at all. We never hear Cam Rising name. We hear about Pac-12. We hear about Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix. I couldn't tell you last time I heard someone really talk about Cam Rising. And for some reason, he finds a way to fucking win. This is their second Rose Bowl in 2 years. I'm sorry, man. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's like a really close first half, and then Utah is just going to mop them in the second half. Yeah. I just don't think – I like Nick Singleton, the running back for Penn State. He's a true freshman. He's a dog. He has a lot of potential, and I think they should build off of him. But they do not utilize him the way they utilize Saquon or the way that this man needs to be utilized. And their offense is boring. If you watch the Penn State game, it's fucking boring. Utah is not boring.
Clifford's ass.
Yeah, ass. And Utah is not boring at all. So give me Utah, and I think -3 is a joke. Give me the -3 too all day.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Penn State is so like they're horrible, bro. Like Michigan mopped them. Like it wasn't even close. Like the fact that they're 11 is kind of comical. Like I would love to see like, someone else just at least get a shot because Penn State like stays just having these like. Whatever their record is, it's still like a mediocre season from them because they're still you're getting your ass blown out by Michigan by 30, and then
and Ohio State by 22.
And then, yeah, exactly. So like you're not even competing with the best teams you're playing against. Like sure, if you want to go beat Michigan State, go ahead, but like that's like I think Utah -3 too. Even though I'm a Big Ten guy, but like I'm not gonna be biased towards their sorry asses. And James Franklin never wins big games either, so I'll take Utah -3. Exactly. Penn State's defense isn't horrible, but like I just don't think Sean Clifford's going to be able to put up 35. So I'll take Utah -3.
Just beat no one all year.
Yeah, I got a 35-20 finish here. Utah -3 is my pick. You guys basically hit everything on the head. I mean, fuck Penn State.
Yeah.
I got nothing intelligent to add to this conversation. I mean, Utah's Utah. Cam Rising's a dog. And fuck Penn State. So
-3, Zach?
Yeah, -3.
Yeah, so those are going to wrap up our New Year's Six Bowls. Honestly, besides the last game, I feel like the other 3 games have a chance to be really good and really entertaining to watch, especially that Clemson-Tennessee game, I believe. But now we're going to dive in real quick too, guys. I just want to read off the wins that Penn State had this year just so we don't sound like jackasses. They beat Purdue by 4, and Purdue shit the bed on the game-winning drive. They beat Ohio. They beat Auburn. No offense, dude, but you guys sucked.
No,
beat
I mean
Central
that was their
Michigan.
signature win. Like
They beat Northwestern, Minnesota, Indiana, Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan State. They beat fucking nobody.
Like,
Nobody.
congrats, guys.
Yeah,
You-
like they beat nobody. And then they got mopped by Ohio State 44-31 in a game in which they were up by 17. They
That's
were up and then got destroyed. And then Michigan just mopped them 41-17. So like I just don't they're only there because they're only there because they were the third best Big Ten team and the other two in the playoffs. That's the only reason they're
yeah, I agree.
Our
This is
next bowl game. What were you about to say, Zach?
That this is why we need to ban predetermined bowl things. I think it's the stupidest shit in the world.
I
Agreed.
Completely agree.
So Big Ten was the worst division this year or conference.
Yeah.
ACC. Yeah, I guess.
Well, ACC, yeah.
I guess.
I
But I
mean-
do agree with Zach, and we talked about in the last pod, you got to get rid of predetermined bowl games. That shit's got to go out the
Agreed.
window. It should be who's best and deserves to be there. Because
Yeah.
Penn State does not deserve to be
Agreed.
there.
Well, that's going to
Honestly,
change with
I
the
would've
expanded
even
playoff.
liked. No, I agree, but I would have even liked an in-conference game in this game with a Utah versus Washington rematch. I think that would have been a better game than Penn State Utah.
Dude, no one's talked about Penn State all year. I can't believe they're fucking in a bowl game.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
up,
no,
up to year
when
6.
they fucking, I was with Zach when they posted that Penn State's in the Rose Bowl, and I was like, we were in Orlando for the UFC fights, and I was like, what the fuck? It's the most undeserving Rose Bowl team ever.
No, they suck. Yeah, Rose Bowl's like it's like a high-ranking bowl where you should be
No,
like,
no, it is like
They
it's
It's a classic.
in
Yeah,
my
they
opinion,
had a-
if you're not in the national championship, you want to be in the Rose Bowl. Like that's the game you want to be in.
Yeah.
yeah, like it's just crazy shit.
But starting off with a game this Friday, December 16th at 3 p.m. on ESPN at the Explorer Stadium in Orlando, Florida, we have an amazing Group of 5 bowl game and the Cure Bowl between number 24 Troy coming in at 11-2 and number 25 UTSA coming in at 11-2. Troy, Sun Belt champions, UTSA, CUSA champions. Troy coming in at a -1, over/under set at 54.5, guys. This is a very interesting game to me, and what a great way to start off our bowl games. What are we thinking about this matchup between these two champions?
Yeah, looking at a tale of two different offenses. From Troy's side of things, they like to pound it on the ground, but now over 1,000 yards rushing this year. And as for UTSA, their quarterback Harris, 3,800 yards through the air. I mean, dude's been slinging it. I mean, like you said, great showcase for the Group of 5 teams. This is one of those seeding games where it ended up just working out for both teams. I think this is a game everyone would like to watch. I mean, unfortunately, I haven't gotten the chance to watch much of either of these teams this year, only because they're not really in any primetime slots and they're not going to be on your standard cable television. That's just how it is. You're always going to get beat out by the higher market teams. But that's not to say this won't be a good football game. If I'm going to put my money somewhere, fuck it. Let's just do UTSA +1 or money line. If it's 1, give me the money line. I think UTSA just more fit for this style of football. I think they'll come out on top.
I agree, Zach. I think that UTSA, I think that the offense will just wear them out. I feel like they're explosive and will control the game and just kind of shut Troy down. Troy will try to make it boring, and I think UTSA will just hopefully score at will, kind of, and I'll take the +1 or money line, whatever. I think that they'll handle it.
Yeah. I have zero clue what's going on in this game. So when in doubt, take the under.
So I'm going to rock with UTSA also. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to our boy Marquise Colvin, who's a starting cornerback for Troy. He's had an amazing career this year. He had a pick against Jackson Dart when they played Ole Miss. Here are the points I want to make. First of all, both these teams are extremely talented. And UTSA's head coach is a dog. I mean, last year when we were in this weird stage of everyone trying to find a new coach, they gave him a $1 million contract, which doesn't sound that crazy, but it's the highest paid contract in the CUSA. So they really show that they want to keep this guy. On top of that, dude, their quarterback, Harris, is a freaking savage, bro. He's a dog. 3,865 yards in the air, 31 touchdowns with 7 picks. Oh, and mind you, his rushing is just as disgusting. I'm pulling it up right now. His rushing this year, he's at 588 yards with 9 touchdowns. This man has 40 total touchdowns to his name. He is the whole firepower behind this team. And for Troy's defense is very good, but their offense isn't amazing. They're not like running the score up on everyone, but they're keeping every game close. I mean, their loss to App State was on that last second freaking Hail Mary play, which they should have won. And then they only lost to Ole Miss at Ole Miss by 18, which the spread was minus 25. So they're not, but the thing is, they're also not blowing teams out. They beat Marshall by 8. They beat Western Kentucky by 7, SMU by, Southern Miss by 17, like Army by 1. They're, like Caleb said, they play boring, ugly games, and that's how they win because they're their defense is solid and they're gritty. I just think that they're not shutting down Harris, and I think honestly UTSA might blow out the scoreboard on them. I think that they're the best offensive power they've seen outside of Ole Miss, and the Ole Miss game was kickoff weekend too. So that's just my opinion. I'm taking UTSA +1. Our next game, weird game, probably would have been a little more hyped up preseason if you saw this on paper, but not a bad game. You got the Holiday Bowl between number 15 Oregon coming in at 9-3 and UNC coming in at 9-4. Oregon's coming in at a -14 favorite. Over under set at 70.5. This game is Thursday, December 29th at 5:30 on ESPN in Orlando, Florida at the Camping World Stadium. UNC, oh, excuse me, I misread that. It's Wednesday, December 28th at 8 p.m. on Fox. San Diego at the Petco Park Stadium. And UNC was our ACC runner-ups this season. Gentlemen, weird game, a lot of offense. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think the line's is bad to begin with because didn't UNC's OC leave to go to Wisconsin, or they've had a lot of coaching?
UNC's OC, and on top of that, Zach Watts, Oregon's OC left to be the head coach of Arizona State.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this over under. I'm not too confident in either of these offenses at this point. I will say I have a hard time betting this much with an Oregon team specifically, just because Bo Nix, you never know what Bo Nix you're going to get any given week. We know from UNC side of things, their young quarterback, Drake Mays, played fantastic this year. The one thing I did want to say about this game, though, is I like bowl games like these, not necessarily for the teams, but the environment. Playing at a baseball stadium like Petco Park, like we have also the Fenway Bowl, which is played at Fenway Park. I think Louisville and Cincy are playing in that. See, those are like fun environments that like guys would enjoy playing bowl games in because it's not a stadium you usually play football in. Like it's a new environment. You like that. Me personally, we kind of talked a little bit about how we can like fix the bowl scenario. Dude, all you have to do is if you make the top 25, you've earned the right to host a bowl game, like through your stadium. Other teams can play there, and then you just outright bid it to the highest bidder, whoever wants to put their name on it. You look at the Duluth Trading Bowl, no one wants to play in fucking a random ass stadium in Orlando. Just say, hey, Tulane, you finished as a top 15 team this year. Guess what? You get to host one of the bowl games. However much money you make that wants to pay you outright to use your stadium, you get to use that for upping your facilities so you can recruit better. More NIL money will come your way. Maybe even like have a written sponsorship for if you're able to host. Do whatever it takes. Obviously, it's a money game at this point. It's obviously what it has been for a long time. It's just a little more obvious now. But I think that's a step towards the right direction. As for the picks in this, like I said, I'm probably going to take UNC +14. It just seems like the safer option. I could see Oregon blowing them out of the water. I'm not too sold on them, and I don't think I ever will be.
I'm not really either, but like, bro, Bo Nix has just been doing something to me. He's been a dog this year, so I'm gonna take the -14. Fuck UNC. Give me the -14. I'm gonna let Bo Nix do his thing and blow them boys out. They're not ready for it, and I know they're gonna be there for a week, but like Oregon's like that's a lot closer than fucking going to North Carolina. They're going across the country, so
it's gonna be an Oregon home game for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So hopefully them boys will get ready and blow them out.
Is Drake May playing?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm taking UNC. Better quarterback, the more experienced coach there with Mac Brown. I think it matters more for Bo Nix than it does for Drake May in regards to losing an offensive coordinator. I don't think Oregon wins by 14 straight up. That's really what it is. So UNC +14. I just don't think they're going to win by 14 points.
Gotta ride the Bo Nix train with me, brother.
Fuck
yeah. I'm gonna. I also don't think that. This is how I look at it. I think it depends on which Bo Nix shows up, but at the same time too, I think that UNC. I feel like the way that these two teams' seasons been going is Oregon started off here, UNC started off here, and then UNC's been going like this, and Oregon's been going like this. I also think with the loss of both offensive coordinators, I think that hurts UNC more than it hurts Oregon, as this Drake May is a freshman. And Bo Nix has been around long enough that he doesn't really need an offensive coordinator. Like he knows the rhythm of the game. Like, I don't think Bo Nix is amazing, but I'm gonna rock with Caleb on this one. I take Oregon -14. UNC has looked like dog shit their last couple games, and on top of that, if you shut down Drake May, UNC has nothing to provide. Like, we saw that in the 3 games they just lost back to back to back. Okay, I think that Dan Lanning, regardless of how good Oregon's defense is, he is a defensive mastermind. I mean, that's why he got hired there from Georgia. I think it'll be like a pretty close. I think in the beginning of the game, it'll be like a touchdown, and then once they start shutting down Drake May and the rhythm gets going, he's gonna have to force too much. And I think that with a young guy like that, he just lost the offensive coordinator, and let's be honest, we don't even know if Mac Brown's coming back because he's so fucking old. I'm gonna take the stability in Oregon and take Oregon -14. Even though I
have one more point.
It's a little weird, but I'm gonna take Oregon -14.
I have to give it to Bo Nix. In his last 5 years of life, this is his 6th offensive coordinator. He has never gotten to have a playbook where he just, knows it for over a year, bro. Like, think like dating back to high school. I'm talking about his high school playbook to his first year at Auburn, second year at Auburn. Brian Harsin comes in, then Oregon. And now you're getting a new one for your last game in college. So, I mean, props. I gotta give Bo Nix props. Like, he's had it rough for sure. No one. I mean, if you told him when he goes to college this is how it's going to be, I'm sure he would be like, "Oh fuck, here we go." Yeah. But I mean, you got to give it to him. I just the Oregon team. Basically, in my head, I had Oregon State that one game when they played against each other and they blew the 28-point lead, and that was like the best bet of my entire life. So they're just kind of canceled for me now until next year. So, and I think Drake May's better than Bo Nix personally, but whatever.
Yeah, but Drake May also he's kind of having the James Franklin effect where he only balls out against shitty teams.
Yes.
But yeah, anyways, good point there. We know that your relationship with Bo Nix is a little different than ours because he used to be, your Lord and Savior.
Complicated.
Yeah, it's a weird relationship. But our next one is a really weird game, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm actually kind of pissed off about this game, and I'll dive in a little more when it's my turn to speak. But we got the Cheez It Bowl between Oklahoma coming in at 6-6 versus number 13 FSU coming in at 9-3. FSU coming in at a 7.5 favorite. Over unders at 66. This is our Thursday afternoon game, December 29th, 5:30 p.m. on ESPN in Orlando, Florida, at the Camping World Stadium. Basically, going to be a home game for Florida State. What do we think about this game, guys? Because I'm probably going to go last because I can rant. I got a little rant I'm going to go on.
I don't want to get my pick yet, but I just want to say that this is kind of bullshit that, bro, FSU had a great season, bro. 9-3, 13th ranked. Like, they don't deserve this bowl. They deserve to be better. They don't deserve to be playing fucking Oklahoma sorry ass on a Thursday, the 29th, bro. Like, give these in Orlando, bro. Like, you think this is bullshit for them. I feel horrible. Someone else give a pick.
I'd rather see them over Penn State in any game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, dude. Like, holy shit. Y'all's quarterbacks went crazy this whole year. You got your running backs. Like, I've actually watched a decent amount of the games, and I'm just like, you guys are actually a good football team. And to see them be in the Cheez It Bowl is like, just as a football fan, it's like fucking annoying as shit just to see.
Yeah, I'm going to go on my rant real quick. So first things first, Jordan Travis had a Heisman caliber year with no love because he was hurt. And for some reason, the media just doesn't fuck with Florida State. Florida State right now is playing the best football they've played all year. And the thing is we went 4 years without going to a bowl game. Okay. We got destroyed, ruined. The program is destroyed. And then in 2 years, Norvell flips it around, goes 9-3, and definitely the second best team in the ACC. And you're gonna reward them with playing a team that barely made a fucking bowl game? How the hell does that make sense? On top of that, we talk a lot on this pod about leaders of men, right? We talk about how Ryan Day is a shitty leader of men. We talk about how Deion Sanders is a great leader of men. Norvell's a fucking amazing leader of men. You want to know how good of a leader of men he is? There's 4 guys that enter the transfer portal who are still practicing and dressing out for this bowl game for Florida State because that's how much this team and Norvell is meant to them. On top of that, all these motherfuckers are coming back next year. They're all coming back. So you're not only getting a Florida State team who we just talked about, the Oregon and UNC going like this. They're hot. This is the hottest they've been all season. And you're going to reward them with a shitty fucking bowl against a shitty fucking team. I was pissed. When they
in a shitty location, too.
Shitty location. The Orlando Stadium sucks. I was fucking pissed. I texted in our Florida State group chat. I was like, I don't even want to watch the game. It's so fucking disrespectful. And then Penn State, give us Penn State schedule. We go 10-2. We go 10-2 in that schedule. 100%. 100%. It's just fucking bullshit, bro. How the fuck do we get Oklahoma 6 and even if we win this game, the only way I'm satisfied is if Florida State blows them out. That's the only way.
Gotta win by 40.
You have to. -7.5, bullshit. Give me FSU -7.5. I think this is the game where it's going to be like, they're going to be like, fuck you to the NCAA. We're making the playoffs next year. Like, you want to treat us like shit. We're going to show you why we should have played in a better game. And all
I'm
these
taking
people
FSU
are like,
too.
all these people are like, oh, well, think about the money. It's in Orlando. Think about the recruits. I could give a fuck about all of that. We should be playing where we deserve to be playing. This is bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. That's my rant. Florida State.
Whoever's saying that is a moron.
Give it to me.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say this because you pretty much shit on everything. It kind of goes back to what I said earlier. You know, because of the predetermined bowl games, the only teams that are ever gonna get to play in a Rose Bowl environment are your Pac-12 and Big Ten teams. An ACC team will never know what that's like. A Group of 5 team that has an amazing season will never know what that's like. You know, have the availability for some of these like legacy bowls to incorporate as many teams as possible. You know, some teams literally will never get this chance again. Give people a reason to not only watch bowl games, but to play in it as well. You know, you're talking about another home game for Florida State. Your reward for being the best you've been in the last 4 or 5 years is to play in your home state, further away from home, essentially, in a shitty environment against a shitty team that you already know you can beat. And all that's going to do is, if you end up losing, it's just going to make you look worse. Because a win doesn't do anything for you, but a loss just looks fucking terrible. I'm willing to bet when we go through, when we meet again after all these bowl games, how much you want to bet over half of these are going to be blowouts and just like not worth it. Just because it's like, oh yeah, we had to put a second runner up in the ACC versus the 3rd seed in fucking who know what conference. Like, it doesn't matter. No one cares. No one's going to be like, oh, well, you know, it's the legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
No one gives a shit, dude. Like, the times change. People want to see the best football at the end of the year. And I just don't think this is providing fans with the best football. This is just shit. But yeah. I digress. FSU -7.5, -15 if I could.
I mean, someone's got to clip that. That was a great rant. That was fantastic. That's what clip that and send it to the NCAA. Like, seriously. But you guys are all making fantastic points. I'm 100% on board with all those. FSU, I'll take an alternate spread minus like 21.
I'm gonna do -7.5 too. Also, like you said, Zach, like it's just crazy. Like, I think every bowl game like seriously should like matter for the program, and the fact that like a win does nothing for them is like just horrible to like cap off their season. Like, woo, we won the fucking Cheez Bowl or whatever the fuck it's called, and we were in Orlando. Yay! Like, fuck that, dude.
Bro, these guys have to like practice and miss Christmas with their family.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're going to the Cheez Bowl now. Like,
I bet all of them are like, oh, like, yeah, it's cool, and like we had a great season, but like, dude, fuck it, we're in the Cheez Bowl. We don't give a shit. Free Cheez-Its for life for the winner. How about that?
Hey, they're decorating their room in Cheez-It gear. Come on.
Oh my god, I saw that shit. I was like, ugh.
Oh my gosh, dude. The thing is too, it's like such a high risk, low reward game. Like Zach was saying, you lose, everyone's like, your season's bullshit, and if you win, you're like, oh, good job, you beat a 6-16 team.
Yeah, like you should have won.
I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see Utah play Bama and Florida State play Kansas State. I wanted to play Kansas State the whole time. I think it's a very good, very well matched up game between great running offenses.
Yeah, I think that would have been awesome.
Matchup. But hey, it is what it is. You can only play with the cards you're dealt. Florida State by murder. That's all I got to say.
Maybe we should work with the NCAA.
Yeah, literally.
Schedule the bowl games.
Our next game, our Valero Alamo Bowl between number 20 Texas coming in at 8-4 and number 12 Washington coming in at 10-2. Texas is a -5-point favorite. Over/under set at 68.5. This is going to be a Thursday night game. This is going to be literally following right after the Florida State game, 9 p.m. on ESPN. This game is in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. It's literally a Texas home game. We're talking about how Florida State's getting shit on and not getting love and coverage. Texas is getting the exact fucking opposite. They have a worse record, and they're giving them a better bowl game in their home state as a home field advantage.
Like, they want Texas to be back so bad, bro.
Oh, there goes Stu. Continue, Caleb.
They just want Texas to be back, bro. This is all politics, bro. They like, who's gonna sell like Florida State or freaking Texas? Like, that's how they look at it, which is so sad because like give Florida State, let them play Texas, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's just prove something. Let's just see. We just want to see.
That's what it was rumored at first. It was rumored that it was going to be Texas versus Florida State, and I was like, dude, if we're the team to show that Texas isn't back, I would love that.
Are we?
That.
Who is Is there any like word on who's sitting in this game? Like, is anyone not playing? Like,
I have not heard of anything. I do believe it. We're going to see a Quinn Ewers versus Michael Penix quarterback battle.
Bro, I fucking love Penix. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
fucking love that guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I want to shut on Texas, I do think they win this handily. I think Steve Sarkisian's a great coach. As much as I want to root for our Tampa boy, I don't know, dude. Like I said, Quinn Ewers is just kind of a dog. Like if he stays in that game, I think they end up beating Bama. And if this is a 9-3 team versus like this 8-4 team, I think the script is even worse for Texas because they would have put them in a New Year's Six bowl. They would have found a way to like fuck someone over to put them in a New Year's Six bowl if that was the case. So yeah, I'm gonna take Texas -5 in this one. I think Washington's a great team, but you know, it's just something about Texas football that always. And you know what we're gonna get? They're gonna win. They're gonna give you the "we're back" Sam Ehlinger a la bullshit, and then you're gonna get your ass whooped next year, and then we're right back to square one. So let's just continue the circle of life for Texas. They'll get their one "we're back" bowl one game, and then it's back to shit right next year. So
and they'll lose to UTSA first game of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Texas -5, Zach.
Yeah.
I think Texas has a comeback at the very end of the game, so they get the big speech afterwards. They win by 3. We'll go Washington +5. They're the better team. And what a game it would have been if we could have seen FSU Washington. I mean, that would have just been a fantastic matchup. But no, the NCAA is corrupt. And I'm just going to go with Washington +5. Michael Penix is coming back next year. And I think everyone's gassed up in that. Yeah, he announced.
And they just signed their head coach to a contract extension. So
watch out for them boys, man.
Give me the Huskies.
Caleb?
The fact that it's in Texas just worries me why I don't want to freaking take
They're showing up to the Alamo Bowl. They're not going to pack it out and be like, go Texas. It's going to be like, obviously a home game, but like, bro.
I don't know.
Do Washington fans travel? I don't know shit about Washington fans.
Me neither.
I don't think Washington fans are going to travel, but I don't think it's going to be like Texas fans will show up, but they're not going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going to the Alamo Bowl. Like, let's fucking blow it up.
Well, the fact that it's in Texas, though, is why I think that it'll happen. It's not like that they're going to it's not like they're going to Orlando. They're going to they're literally they're going to drive like 3 hours and stay in San Antonio and go to the game and have a good little time and support them.
Yeah, and also
they're definitely going to have the home field advantage.
Yeah, and you're going to have all these San Antonio natives that are like grew up Texas fans, and they're like, oh, let's just go to the game. It's right here.
Yeah. I also think Washington fans don't exist. They're just like pigeons, like CIA. They're just like how do we make the most generic human being possible? They're like easy. Washington.
They're NPC.
Yeah.
Washington or Tennessee football fan, just fucking send them out to who knows where, and we'll just like invade. We'll just invade. And
I want to say Washington has a large Canadian following as well. Their football team, yeah.
They I'm going to take Washington +5 too, just because I think that, like Zach said, like their cycle, but I think their cycle, they already did their little peak where they were like close with Bama and they have a decent record. And then now they're going to come down and not cap off their season beautifully like they would. So I like fucking Penix and Washington. So I'm going to do +5 too.
Yeah, I'm going to get shit on here, but I'm going to take Washington +5 and I'm going to take the over of 65.5. Both of these defenses are fucking dog shit. Okay. And they're going to, what the NCAA wants, and the more I talk to Stu and the more I follow sports, the more I realize it's just a big fucking game and it's WWE. The NCAA wants to post highlights of Michael Penix and Quinn Ewers just slinging the rock. They want just highlight on highlight of just Michael fucking Penix and Quinn Ewers. That's all they want. They want to just have a 15-minute clip of Michael Penix and Quinn Ewers throwing 8 touchdowns each. And I think they're going to find a way to make it happen. And on top of that, both of these defenses allow 360-plus yards a game. And we're looking at Michael Penix coming in. Quinn Ewers' stats are not as good because he's been like on field, off field, on field, and off the field. But you still got Bijan Robinson. And from what I know, he's playing in this game. And on top of that, Michael Penix is coming in with almost 5,000 yards, 4,350 yards, and 30 touchdowns, bro. It's going to be such a freaking great game to watch offensively. And I think either Texas wins it close or Washington blows them out, and that's why I'm going to take Washington +5. But I think the over is going to hit. I know it sounds crazy because it's so high, but I think it's definitely going to hit because they're just going to ESPN and NCAA want it to happen, so it's going to fucking happen.
Yeah, I agree.
We have 2 more games to discuss. Our next game, which to me, when this game got announced, it was probably the most interesting game to me out of all the other games, besides the Power 6, of course. We have our Taxslayer Gator Bowl between number 21 Notre Dame coming in at 8-4 and number 19 South Carolina coming in at 8-4. Over under set at 52. Notre Dame coming in as a -2. This game is Friday, December 30th, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN in Jacksonville at the TIAA Bank Field. And real quick before you guys carry on, Spencer Rattler said he doesn't know if he's coming back or not, which is the stupidest announcement I've ever heard in my entire life. And Michael Mayer, who was probably the most productive player on the Notre Dame team, is not playing in this game. They're starting tight end.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, I would have the fucking Hater Bowl because I hate both these teams. I'm probably just gonna watch it to see who is going to piss me off the most. I also think this would have been a great opportunity to ship one of the bowl games out overseas, just have them play in fucking Europe and just let completely shit, like just roast the fuck out of like anyone they see, just like give them hell. Like they're gonna see Spencer Rattler, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?" and just roast his ass. I would have loved to see that. But yeah, I don't even know who to take this. You know what? Fuck it. Give me South Carolina +2. Notre Dame. Every time I look at them, I just get pissed off knowing that they lost to Marshall this year, but then somehow will turn around and beat a really good team for no fucking reason. So this just seems like a game that, like, if they're favored in, they're gonna lose, and they need to get exposed regardless.
I agree. I fucking hate Notre Dame. I think that South Carolina will win like 31, like 28 or something like that. They'll win by like 3 points or something, and I just fucking despise Notre Dame, and I don't like Spencer Rattler either. He just wanted to say that he doesn't know if he's going to come back because he wants people to he wants the attention, you know. He wants people to be, please come back, blah blah blah. He just likes that shit. I think South Carolina wins by like 3 points, and I have the points, so I'll take them +2.
Bro, I literally hate that they're ranked. Like, I hate that, dude. Football, like, I'll say some shit about teams, like, we can all hate on Notre Dame. They're annoying as fuck, but like football's better when they're good just because they're a brand. Football can do without South Carolina. They can do without South Carolina. And I still like Notre Dame's coach. Like, I like him. And I don't like Shane Beamer, and I'm going Notre Dame because fuck Spencer Rattler. Give me money line though. I want money line.
I'm gonna join you with that pick, Stu. I'm gonna take Notre Dame money line. I'm also gonna take the under. I think that
I like that as well. I'll put that on mine as well.
I think that this game is going to be boring as shit, especially without Michael Mayer. And I understand that these 2 games that South Carolina basically built their entire season on were amazing. But let's not forget that they got boat raced by fucking Florida, and they got boat raced by the majority of their games this year. It's like
they suck dick.
This is my opinion on South Carolina. South Carolina is the most irrelevant SEC team. They have no culture. They have no like historic presence in the SEC, and they try to force it year in and year out. Like, they got Beamer. Look at Beamer bringing the swag. Or they beat Tennessee, and they fucking suck. Like, they had 2 great wins, and I'll give them that. I'm not going to discredit that. But let's not forget the fact that Spencer Rattler fucking opened up this year starting off with 6 touchdowns and 6 picks. He sucks. His team sucks. He got beat out by a true freshman last year on a team that could have won the fucking Natty. He sucks. Okay? He's not good. Notre Dame's not good. I'm going to agree with Stu, though. As much as I hate Notre Dame, I'm a big Marcus Freeman fan. He's a good leader of men. I like him a lot. I'm not sold on Beamer. I'm not sold on South Carolina. I don't know why we're forcing this narrative. And I think this fucking little magic run that South Carolina is doing is going to be gone. And I think it's going to go back to a boring-ass, stereotypical Notre Dame and South Carolina game. Give me Notre Dame money line by a boring-ass game and give me the under.
Notre Dame wins the boring games, bro. That's
100%.
what they do. They win the boring games.
Yeah. I agree. And South Carolina's wins. I mean, dude, like, I'm gonna even just to back myself up so I don't sound too much like a jackass. I'm gonna just double check into this. But dude, they have some pretty not good losses. I mean, so does Notre Dame. I'm not gonna say Notre Dame doesn't, but I mean, I feel like Notre Dame's been more consistent.
But they were at the beginning of like Marcus's career. Like, that was his first 2 games as a head coach.
Exactly. Where the fuck is this game? Oh, I got it right here. I mean, dude, let's look at South Carolina. They got mopped by Arkansas, mopped by Georgia. They beat Kentucky barely, beat Texas A&M barely, lost to fucking Missouri at home, and then lost
Missouri's
to Florida.
pathetic.
Before they went on their 2-game win, they lost to Florida 38-6. 38-6. Where Spencer Rattler had 18 for 26 with 140 yards and no touchdowns. I think that this little hype train they got's gonna die. I do, and I agree too that Notre Dame wins the boring ones.
I'm looking at Notre Dame's their schedule right now. They fucking mopped Clemson. Like they actually have some decent little wins, I guess.
Mopped North Carolina. They didn't.
Syracuse is decent. Mopped
They
them.
played well versus. Well, they beat Syracuse at Syracuse, which is good, and they played well versus USC. I just think they didn't have the star power that USC had.
Yeah, I do like their coach too, though. He's making it like even though like I'll never root for them, but like Brian Kelly versus him is like night and day. So like, like Brian Kelly's like impossible to root for unless you just grow up liking that team.
Biggest loser.
I think he's better for their culture. He's younger. He's more with the style.
Hell yeah.
He brings a little more swag. I think he's better for Notre Dame.
I agree.
Now, our last game of the day, I only put it down because I feel like it's a game we have to talk about, but I think we're all going to be in agreement on how this one's going to go. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, number 17 LSU coming in at 9-4 versus Purdue coming in at 8-5. LSU coming in at a -10.5 favorite. Over/under set at 58.5. This game is Monday, December 2nd, 1 p.m. on ABC. Another shitty game in Orlando. LSU is the SEC runner-ups. Purdue is the Big Ten runner-ups. What are we thinking on this game?
I hate this. What the fuck?
Same rant I had as the Florida State thing. LSU had a great
so bad.
Under first year, Brian Kelly, great year. You have great wins over Alabama, and how are we going to reward you? Guess what? We're going to send you to fucking Orlando to play Purdue. Have fun.
Crazy.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Yeah, pretty obvious. I'm taking LSU -10.5. I have root for in this Purdue team. I don't know what they have going for them. Nothing about this makes sense. Like the Camping World Stadium, don't understand. I get you're both runners up, but that doesn't make you equals. Like when did we decide that being a runner up in a conference suddenly made you an equal?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Well, and on top of that, LSU became a runner up because they beat Alabama. Purdue became a runner up because Wisconsin and Iowa sucked dick this year.
Bro, imagine if Alabama had been the runner up and they had to play fucking Purdue. That would be crazy.
Nuts.
I love how Alabama has a better game than fucking LSU, and they didn't even get to this.
And they lost. And they lost to LSU.
That's so funny. This is the WWE, bro. It's the WWE.
It is.
It's ridiculous. I'm gonna go under here. I fucking hate LSU, so I don't think Purdue's gonna stay within that number. But I'm not taking LSU or Brian Kelly. I'm just give me the under. I don't even know what number it is, but just give it.
58.5.
Oh yeah, we'll go under there.
I'm gonna go with you, Stu. I fucking hate LSU. Purdue's just so boring to watch. Like Zach said, like what do they have going for them? Like holy shit, it's fucking. Another thing, like we already talked about this, like a bowl win should mean something. Like LSU beating Purdue doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything for them. You won the fucking Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando. Congrats. Like fuck. Like
these
it
are
just
terrible matchups this year, bro.
Yeah.
They did a really poor job.
So wait, you're taking the under too? Just the under?
Yeah, I'm gonna do under.
I'm gonna take LSU plus 10.5, -10.5 as well. And a key thing to note that we haven't discussed or brought up this entire time, Purdue just lost their best coach ever. They just lost the best coach they ever had, who wasn't even that good. And he's gone. He went to freaking Louisville. So not only do they have nothing to bring to the table, they don't even have a guy to like light a fire under their ass. So they literally, this is one of those games where they're just like, all right, let's just get it over with. You know,
They're
like,
showdown battle.
Yeah, they don't even want to be there. I'm not even gonna fucking watch this game. Terrible matchup.
Absolutely not.
You should have done Purdue versus Oklahoma and let LSU and Florida State run it back because that game they had at the beginning
That
of
would
the year
be
was
lit.
electric. But yeah, that's all I got to say for our bowl games. Any other games you guys want to shout out or anything else? Any other notes?
Yeah. I want to make a proposal that there should be a toilet bowl every year, and it should feature the two worst teams in the country. This year, it would have been South Florida versus UMass, and I would have fucking watched just some shit football where no one wants to be a part of it, but like you have to because it's like it's your incentive not to suck, and then maybe like you won't be featured at the toilet bowl every year. And maybe the winner gets a year's supply of like 1-ply toilet paper. Like that's all you get.
One
Like,
ply.
yeah, super rough, terrible toilet paper, and you're just like, there we go. Like we get free fucking toilet paper forever. Also, yeah, it just pretty much tells you don't suck dick. You're both 1-11, and that's your fault. So deal with it.
I like that idea. A couple bowl games I want to shout out that we didn't talk about, but I think they're also pretty interesting. We had Cincinnati versus Louisville in the Fenway Bowl. That's going to be an interesting game. Louisville's head coach just went to Cincinnati. Very weird to me. I don't know why you would leave Louisville. I think Louisville's a great job to have, but he's not coaching. I saw a funny tweet that was like, grow the fuck up and coach both teams with a blowhorn on the top of the stadium. It should have been hilarious. That's a very interesting game to me. Another interesting one, we got Wake Forest versus Missouri. I know you're like, what the hell? Why are we talking about this game? Missouri ran from Kansas.
Pussies,
like,
yes.
Kansas was like, yo, let's run it back. We used to be rivals. Like it's a borderline game, Kansas, Missouri. The Missouri compromise, goes a long way. They ran. So I hope Wake
That
Forest.
was so crazy that that's crazy. And I don't know much about the Missouri head coach, but I remember when Auburn and Missouri were playing, that like Brian Harson's good friends with that coach. So fuck that coach. That's all I gotta say on that.
Yeah, that's
Like
gonna be
that
real.
whole thing. He's out the door next in the SEC. Talk about an irrelevant SEC team.
Yeah.
That's Missouri.
Yeah, but at least Missouri, like if we're gonna talk about irrelevancy, at least Missouri's been to a couple Big Ten championships. At least they've had a couple good players go. I couldn't name shit that South Carolina's ever done, bro.
Well, I know something funny actually. In my lifetime, the 2 SEC championships that I've watched since I've been watching football, it was Cam Newton played against South Carolina, and then when we went to play FSU in the BCS, we played Missouri in the SEC championship. Yeah. Mobbed them both, but
another thing I want to add real quick, I kind of touched on it earlier, but I wanted to look it up to make sure. There's a huge list of games at a college level that have been played outside of the United States. I think college men's basketball does a great job of this, of kind of just having like little tournaments and set up. Like, dude, I watched a fucking basketball game get played on a aircraft carrier. Like,
Yeah, they do a good.
Like, that's sick. Like, why would you not try and expanding just football anywhere you could? We talked about a lot of Washington fans come from Canada. You know how easy it would be to set up a game in fucking Canada? It's not like they don't play Canadian football there. You want to go? Germany has an environment that would love to watch. Europe. South Korea actually has a college football league over there. I don't know if you've seen any highlights of it, but it's actually fun as fuck to watch. But like there's entire just population of people over there that want to watch college football, but it's just not showcased to them. I think it's a great opportunity to kind of spread the love for and like some of the games I'm reading through, we've played games in Cuba, Canada, West Germany, Austria, France, Japan. Like, go play in fucking Japan. Who would not want to go play in Japan?
I don't know if you remember, Zach, the kickoff game this year was Nebraska versus Northwestern in Dublin, Ireland. And that game was boring to the fact that the team sucked, but it was awesome because the environment there was awesome. And I don't know if you remember this, the card readers went down, so everyone got free fucking beer. And they had the longest beer snake of cups at a college football game ever. And it just brings a different environment. You go to these European countries that don't have that. They have 1-0 soccer games. Give them a 35-28 banger of a football game. All it does is help everyone. It only benefits everyone.
Yeah. I saw this one game back in 2019. I didn't even know this game happened, but it was in Shanghai, China, and we sent Penn versus Ivy, and Penn 85-0. So we pretty much were just like, here's an ass whooping. Here's what college football is like, and they were like, oh, this sucks. Like, just send like a competitive game over there. It doesn't even have to be like. Literally do what we talked about. Send fucking Texas and Washington high scoring. You just want to post highlights. Send them the fuck out.
I mean, that's what baseball does. Baseball is like, oh, we're going to put the Red Sox versus the Yankees in England. By the way, outfield's 200 feet, so it's like, it's electric.
9. Yeah. Enjoy. But yeah, I just think that's what they need to do. I would like to see it. And I'm all for growing the sport any way you can. And don't tell me that it wouldn't help you, because I know there's fucking a lot of money to be made.
Yeah. Well, and also on top of that, Zach, when we're talking about like some of these bowl games, they're like, why the fuck do they matter? Like Kansas, Arkansas, weird game. You put it in Europe, more people are going to watch just because it's in Europe, and more people are going to be more interested in the game just because it's in Europe or it's in Asia or something. That's another factor to it as well. A couple other bowl games I want to get off. UCF versus Duke in the Military Bowl. I think that's a fucking fire matchup. Great matchup. I think Syracuse versus Minnesota is another one because they're kind of like the same team in different conferences. Like Syracuse and Minnesota were both ranked super fucking high in the beginning of the year because they played nobodies, and then they started like dwindling down in their conferences. There was one more I wanted to bring up that I can't remember. Oh yeah, and the last one. So Zach was talking about we shouldn't have predetermined bowl bids. We have fucking Iowa versus Kentucky with the lowest over/under in college football history at 31,
Good job.
which was lower than the Army Navy cover.
I don't know how you sit in a meeting and you write these two teams down on paper and don't get physically ill. This is a game that you probably could get away with not televising and no one's going to be mad. I don't even think fucking Iowa or Kentucky fans are going to want to watch this shit. I believe this is a rematch. These two teams, I think they've played in a bowl game before, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. I just don't really give a shit, to be honest.
Is Levis playing or
Yeah, I
not?
don't give a fuck.
Does it matter? Does it matter? He's not even good.
I know they
He's
like
so
fell off,
underrated.
they fell off like really
Bro,
hard. Like
he's Mel Kiper's #1 quarterback going into the draft.
Some poor team is going to – holy fuck. It's going to be the Texans, too. They're going to be the dumbasses that are like, fucking Will Levis, man. This is the future.
Or the Jets. Or the Jets are like, all right, we fucked up with Zach Wilson. We're bringing in Will Levis.
Yeah, no.
Mike
Like,
White's lit.
No,
Yeah.
I fuck with Mike White, but he's not the answer.
Mike White. But no, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of guys every year that just like should go higher, but don't like end up dropping. I feel like this is an opposite situation with Levis. Levis is a guy that's like, you don't know why he's projected so high.
And he
But
keeps going higher. He's going higher.
they're like, dude, this guy can just fucking whip that shit so fast. Like, he can play behind the line with no one because he can just get that ball fast. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck how fast you get it out if it's going right to the defense. Like, I don't care. But yeah, I mean, I think that wraps up my thoughts about it.
I got all my rants and comments out, gentlemen.
I'm all good.
Same here.
Yeah, well, sorry Auburn didn't make a bowl game. It is what it is. You got it good going.
I'd
right
rather
now.
be recruiting right now, anyways.
I agree. Caleb, we will definitely.
I'd rather be
bring you
playing
back
for a
on.
natty. You guys,
We'll bring you back on for the natty episode. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Clocks in the stove.
thank you.
Bold picks over and out.
It's